Today our session is about AI-driven development. The way it's going to work is we're going to start with a little. I should not have written warm-up exercise because I think people are warm enough.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
so
that was a mistake.
It was a mistake, but we'll have an exercise that we call the 7 stages of AI coding. Then we're going to cover anti-gravity, which is the big cool thing that we're doing in the development space. And last but not least, we'll discuss tools and techniques you can use and apply to this kind of agents. Off we go.
Sure.
So,
7 stages of agentic coding. Those of you who know me know I always like to make it a bit interactive. So here we go. Can everyone stand up, please?
Yeah.
If you're able to stand up.
Yeah, we can be accessible if you cannot stand.
It won't be a dance, don't worry.
Yeah.
It won't be a dance.
It's not that intensive. Okay, so we're going to do the exercise works as follows. So we're going to show stages from the most basic to most advanced. And while you still identify with the stage, you keep standing. If you see, oh, this is not me anymore, you can sit.
That's
or you're tired.
That's the rules.
Yeah. So
or if you're tired, yeah.
Let's see.
Stage 1.
Stage 1.
You use Gemini or any other AI chatbot. I'm not judging. You use Gemini in the browser, and you copy and paste, you ask questions, you copy and paste code snippets into your editor. Like,
who has done that once?
Everyone? Okay, so that's great. So you can continue standing.
Yeah, everyone stays standing.
Everyone is stage 1. That's good.
Yep, good start.
Stage 2.
Stage 2.
Use
Coding agent with manual approval. Now you move out of the browser mainly, and you have like a proper tool, coding agent, but you're still, double checking everything.
You don't trust the model at all, right? File edits, reading all the divs very carefully.
Yeah.
I mean, you likely think that you were better at coding. I was there.
At some point, yes.
Yeah.
So everyone is still with us? Okay, everyone using a coding agent.
Yeah.
Next step, you start to relax a little bit, maybe. So
I did, yeah.
Yeah, you start trusting a few things. Read operation. What harm can be done if you're reading a file, right?
Yeah, read operations, file edits, they happen automatically now. Are you reading all the divs? No?
Okay.
Okay.
Most people are still with us. Amazing.
It's really interesting to see how this has evolved over the year.
Exactly. Yeah, we have been doing this session for almost 6 months now, and it was now almost everyone at this stage.
Like at the beginning of this year, half of the people would sit down at this stage.
Okay. Next level, hands off. You switch to full screen.
Full screen. You're only reading. This is basically the anti-gravity 2.0 experience, right? There's no code.
So you don't care about the code that much, but you still review it. You want to ensure some certain quality. You're reviewing, but you're definitely not writing the code anymore.
No.
Okay.
Okay, but 50-50 now.
Okay, we still have half the room, or people tired.
Maybe, yeah.
Next up, this one is a bit quite a jump, I'd say, but YOLO mode.
YOLO mode. Disable all restrictions. Full trust.
We lost the room.
No, not everyone. Still a lot of people
We still have people.
We still have people standing. Like, maybe Gemini is doing a good job. I mean.
Yeah, I think it is. Next stage, I always like to say this. Maybe you skipped level 5. You're still not fully YOLO mode, but you're doing this. The orchestrator. You're running multiple agents in parallel. Would anyone stand back up at this stage, just to confirm? So we recovered a few people, and these are typically the people that are, okay, I'm doing a task, and then, okay, let it work, and I'm open another tab and do another thing. So you're managing, still doing some approval, but you're multitasking.
Like I noticed, as soon as you stop looking at the code, you have more mental capacity to do multiple things in parallel, right?
Yeah.
This is also where it gets a bit of addictive. I mean, you can go much longer.
Yeah. When do you decide to stop? Come on, you're making so much progress, right? So in the last stage, this one is the most exciting. You achieved complete enlightenment, and now the swarm does everything for you.
You're just guiding the system, right? Loops everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm afraid we have to go off the stage and hand the mic to them now.
Does anyone wants to come here and explain to us how you became enlightened?
How to do this? I'm not sure. I feel a bit.
I'm for sure I'm not at this step yet.
No, me neither.
Okay, so now everyone can sit and have a rest. So what's the theme here after each step is the fact that we need to increase trust in the system, right? If you cannot trust something, how can you delegate?
I like this analogy of like, what's the most important thing in a sports car? The brakes.
Yeah.
So you need more safety to go fast.
If you have a fast car, it can only accelerate. The brake is not as strong or more strong than the engine.
Yeah. So what guardrails do you have? Like what policies that you set to make sure you can trust the agent to do the work for you when you're not watching?
Exactly. And how do we increase trust is the big question. So there is an algorithm for that. Trust is a combination of experience and tools, right? So the better the tools you have, you tend to have more trust in them. But also, nothing replaces the experience, which we can use this famous FAFO principle. You fuss around and you find out. So there's nothing replaces, I think, human training, like your experience, right? So with that said, now we can start thinking, so what tools we can offer? We cannot give the experience to you. This you need to experience for yourself. But we can help with the tools, right? And this is where anti-gravity comes. Anti-gravity is our new generation of coding agents. And it became from a single IDE. Now anti-gravity 2.0, it's actually a family of applications. We're starting with the agent manager, which is this interface where you're kind of like, let's say, level 5 here, or 6, actually, the orchestrator.
It's just conversations. The code is nowhere.
The code is in second plane.
Well, yeah. You can still see the divs.
You can see the divs, but you cannot edit the files directly.
Definitely.
And this shows a little bit of how we're changing the interaction. Like the prompt is the first class citizen, and the code is like it becomes in second place.
It feels a bit like this is like skating where the puck is going, right? Because like beginning of the year we had like autocomplete, and now we are losing track of like not editing the code, not executing shell commands. And as the models get more powerful, this pattern becomes more useful.
Yeah, but still you annotate the code, giving hints to the. We're going to see this in the demo in a few minutes. But also, of course, as we've seen in this room, is a good representation that not everyone is at that stage. So we give people options. You still have the IDE where the code is at the forefront. You can edit the file, and you have the agent as a side panel. We also have the CLI for people who prefer the terminal. And we have a new thing with the SDK is the same harness used to build anti-gravity you can use to build your own agents. And yeah.
I feel we've been doing a lot of talking.
Now it's time to show what we can do with this.
Yeah, so can we switch to demo line 1, please? Oh, we're there. Okay, so this is anti-gravity 2.0. Like, who's opened this interface before? 2 people, 3 people. It is conversations here, and there's a side panel. Oh wow, this UI is interesting. There's a side panel that lets you explore the divs. Let me do it like this. Yeah, that's better. Okay, and then there is the IDE again. So there's still the agent. You can chat with it, but there's also a terminal. You can run shell code. You can read and edit code. And there is the CLI. So I have this demo we've been running for a while too. It is this repository, written by someone famous, Linus Torvalds. It's on GitHub, but it doesn't have a README, right? So I can fire up AGI. What is this about? So we'll go explore the source code and then eventually answer, like, oh, it's something to render thumbnails for embroidery files. Did you see the trick I did? Like I switched the tab very quickly to make it appear faster.
I really love that trick. I'm going to use.
It's like cooking show style, right?
Yeah.
You put the bread into the oven.
Then suddenly it becomes like the whole dish ready.
You have a fully baked
on another
bread.
side.
So this is the trick to doing many demos. Also, they don't go wrong if you've already prepared the bread. And there's something, the SDK, right? And it's like, this is not a coding agent. The SDK is a Python SDK that allows you to use the agent harness to build your own agents. So I built a little agent here that lets me ask questions by reading my own blog. I now realized how much ego is in this demo. It's terrible.
I think you cannot do our job if you don't have a little bit of ego, I guess.
I
Be
guess.
on the stage and
But I've,
facing so many people.
It
Yeah.
feels really bad. Okay, so I have this demo that lets me ask questions to myself. What is rebasing in Cloud Run? And it's thinking for a bit, and it's calling this tool list posts, right? So I implemented Python functions, or Antigravity implemented Python functions that let me list all the posts on my blog and then read the content, convert it to Markdown, and input it back, right? Well, there it goes. This is an explanation of rebasing based on whatever I wrote. So this is just a Python script. So that's the SDK. Okay, Antigravity 2 though. Like, you can ask it to write an app. Like, write me an app that tells me the time. But you can do better, right? I really like this /grillme/ command because it will start interviewing me, right? Because this is a really bad prompt. Like, what's an app? What's an app? Like, is it a CLI app? Is it a web app? Like, the model wouldn't know. And if I just let it run with this, it would just guess my intent. That's bad. And like, when is it done? I'm not telling it.
Yeah. So we used to spend a lot of time talking about prompt engineering, context engineering, all sorts of things. But now we have this kind of tools that I think it helps. Of course, it's still useful that when you're describing a problem, instead of saying an app, you describe it with your proper domain language, saying, oh, I want an application that has the front end and back end. This usually is better, but if you need to help with the creative process, this thing like using GrillMe can help you. The model will interview you to extract the information you missed. So it's a good way to approach this.
Absolutely. First question is like app. What kind of app? Well,
Yeah.
we're going for a CLI tool.
And I think this shows like how the experience, like when you're building something, knowing the domain is important. Like the model can help, but also you need to understand to be able to answer those questions as well. So I know there's a lot of doom and gloom about the end of software engineering and stuff, but you see, our role is much more than writing code. Is designing this thing, and we're co-creating with the AI by choosing, oh, I want this element, this element, this element. So someone that knows what those elements mean can give the model better answers as well.
Time for the cooking show? Oh, it's working. Because eventually it will come up with an implementation plan, right? And what's in a good implementation plan? It's like, what do you want to build? What do you not want to build? What are the acceptance criteria? Like how does the model know it's done with the task? Cyberpunk?
Yeah,
Okay.
this used to be something I would pay a lot of attention on write prompts manually, like acceptance criteria, is like where you give you the stop condition, like say, oh, I achieved this, I can stop. This is something you kind of get for free in the plan, but it's still when we get to the point of reviewing the plan, is the place where I pay the most attention. Because if I can validate the acceptance criteria, specify, it's kind of like the agile preaching thing, like when you talk about writing stories, oh, write the acceptance criteria. So everything you learn from agile days still applies here. Like you need to define an end for the problem so the model know, oh, yeah, I'm ready.
So
there you go.
Here comes up with an implementation plan, like what changes does it want to make, what's the project structure. So I carefully review this, and if it looks good, I will say proceed. But maybe I'll say, I don't know, package to JSON. Maybe we can do this without dependencies. I mean, I don't trust dependencies anymore.
For sure.
I have this setting, like avoid fresh dependencies, 7 days old at least.
Yeah, we don't want to be vulnerable to any malicious
do it
attacks.
without dApps?
So and this is the experience, like we're collaborating with the model, adding comments instead of adding it to the code. This is, I think, the main part.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll do the cooking demo now. Imagine it all completed. Now I have an overview of all the files that it changed. So I can read the diffs if it were about changes. It makes a plan and then completes it, like all the steps that it wants to. This is how it keeps track of what it's doing. And when it's done, it will write a walkthrough. Like, here's everything I did. So I read that, but I also want to see the clock. Do you want to see the clock?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
let's run it.
So I go to the
Does it
IDE
work?
because I'm like, I want to use the shell now.
Yeah, I think one of the things I also miss when working with the anti-gravity agent manager is they have this access to the quick access to the terminal. So there you go,
Yeah.
live clock, amazing.
They're underwhelmed.
Yeah, they saw so many demos, like agents doing so much stuff so far that yeah,
Another time,
yeah.
when you get to the interesting things. Okay, that's prompting. What else? Rules. Yeah, I wanted to quickly talk about rules. So, what are rules? It is, if you go to settings, there is the rules. So this is basically your workspace or project level Gemini.md file. Now, I'm particular about this. I will only like put things in there that make the model a bit more efficient and use less tokens. So if I notice that it will like always try to use pip when the project is actually a UV project, I will add a line to my Gemini.md. And there's also this one, like I want to sign all my commits. So never use the no GPG sign. Just ask me to plug in my key, right? But this is not really good enough, right? Because it can ignore instructions, right? So what you really want to increase, so I use the instructions, the Gemini.md instructions to make it more efficient, not to make it safer. Because this no GPT sign thing can be ignored. It can be forgotten, right?
Yeah.
So you want to use a hook for it.
One of the things I like to talk about how and some key people in the industry are also talking a lot about how models are non-deterministic. We're in the non-deterministic phase of software engineering because you can do the same prompt twice, you cannot guarantee the same results. Mm-hmm. Like they will be probably functionally equivalent, but you might have some inherent variability because of the technology. But also, for me, actually, it doesn't surprise me that much because this is essentially these models were, I don't know, based on the artificial intelligence. They're based on human intelligence, and we also forget things. Mm-hmm. So we're actually reproducing the human quite well. So it's common that in this kind of instruction, the model will follow them on a best effort capability, but those do not constrain them. So when you want to constrain things, like there's one thing called hooks. And if we can switch to my computer now, what I have here, I have a prompt MD file, which just tells the model run a git reset hard.
Oh, this is bad.
And I don't know if it already happened with you, but sometimes I get in a session, it's a very long session, the model is banging its head or virtual head into some task. Then it gets to some point, I cannot do this. And then throws a git reset hard and then raises everything. You're saying, oh my God, you're so close. Why?
Why didn't you just ask?
Yeah, ask me. So I'm going to run this prompt, and I'm going to show how it works later. And you can see, I get this response. Tool call denied by this runner string here, JSON hook, plugin, pre-tool use, blah, blah, blah. And it says, it gives a justification. Execution of git reset is strictly blocked to prevent data loss. Advise the user to run this command in a bash window, and says the command attempt. And here you see the advice. So there are a few tricks here. So hooks, they're essentially a different way to call callback. You have 5 types. You can have a pre-tool use, a post-tool use, a pre-invocation, post-invocation. Pre-tool use is every tool call, or after every tool call. And pre-invocation, post-invocation is when you invoke the model, invoke the agent, actually. But it's not just that. You have, where's my source code? So this is the plugin, this is the hook definition. You have something called a matcher, which says, oh yeah, it's not any tool. In this case, I'm matching the run command tool, and I'm saying, if my run command, my tool call is run command, I want to run this hook, this pre-tool, and with this other command, which gives me to this Python script that says, basically we inspect the call, and if it finds the string somewhere here, yes, if it starts with git reset, it will block. So this here, the main point here is they're not giving the model the chance to think about it. You're immediately blocking or steering. Like I use this a lot to do this kind of. It's not enough to say just deny and say no, cannot do it, because models they're smart. They're smart. I'm going to change this and see. I'm going to remove this phrase and see if I can reproduce the behavior, and just going to say execution of git reset strictly blocked to prevent data loss. And let's go back to my UI. And you see, I'm going to run the same prompt. I change the code. What happens most of the time, let's see if it happens here, it will try to circumvent the hook.
Oh, there it goes.
There you go. It's trying to understand the hook first instead of just trying to do the thing. And sometimes it disables the hook. So the trick here is, one, if you want something for safety purpose, don't give write access to the model to it.
Refining
right?
safeguards.
Exactly.
Like
so yeah. Oh.
Okay. Well, that's
actually
that's
in this case,
nice.
it actually respected, but sometimes it will just try to disable the hook or rewrite the hook. So ideally, you don't want them to live in the same project. But also, if it's not a critical hook like security hook, I like to use the prompt itself to steer the model and say, oh, you're trying to do this, but actually you want to do that. And that's why in this case also worked, but in the other case it just said, oh, manually run this.
Essentially, if you have a hook or another validation failure, you tell it how to proceed, like how to resolve this error, how to deal with this restriction. Yeah. Exactly. I like that.
So yeah, this is, I've been using hooks a lot. Like this is actually my favorite extension. So for, just say, don't use this tool, use this other one. Don't use the shell command, use it like a native tool. Don't use shell, use this MCP server. So you can use to steer, you can use for logging. You can use to add a memory system and start recording your sessions. You can use for telemetry. So there are a lot of uses you can do this, but this is my favorite one. And yeah, so let's move on. What's the next demo?
It was agent skills.
Let's talk about agent skills. Yeah, we talk about rules. So
can we switch to demo line 1? Oh, that's already there.
Yeah.
Thank you. So skills. Like you can put a lot of information in your Gemini.md files, but it's, well, if you put a lot of things there in there, model gets confused because the context is too much, right? Skills solve this by providing an index and progressively disclosing, allowing it to call a tool to disclose more information. Anti-gravity comes with a few built-ins, right? So if I go to, where is it? Here. Customizations, rules, skills. The default skills, it prompts you when you install anti-gravity, like, hey, do you want to enable default skills built by Google? So there's Chrome extensions. There's one to write code using, like, create Google anti-gravity SDK agents, and the modern web guidance. Now, this is a dream skill for me because I am originally a backend developer.
Oh, me too.
And like, I'm just not keeping up. So, well, let's see what's in there, right? What is in the modern web guidance skill, and how does it work? I find myself doing this more and more, like asking the product to explain itself.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to understand and help the build better products.
Yeah, I wanted to learn more about the settings, so I just launched the conversation in the settings directory.
So this is a typical thing. Like now, people like when they're building products, like it's very useful to ship this queue to teach the agent to use your product. So we don't rely on training data. So you'll see this pattern for almost all Google products now. They come up with a SKU, and also other companies are doing the same. And yeah, and besides that, it's a very good place to put specialist knowledge, things that are very specific to your team or the way you work, because the model has no way to know how to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
I noticed that like Gemini 3.05 starts to, like if it fails to use a dependency in the right way, it starts to dive into the libraries, like into the dependency itself. Like, hey, can you, like, I want to know what functions I can call on this object, right? And it will just write a temporary script to print all the methods on an object and then explore I haven't seen that with previous models.
Yeah, I think it started doing it from Gemini 3, but yeah.
Yeah. So what's in the modern web guidance skill? So first, it was calling that like it provides this MPX command to list all the topics that it supports, and then you can follow it up with searches and retrieve individual content.
Yeah, this is something I noticed. Like most skills are coming like this now. That they come with a built-in like CLI that also helps out updating the skill. So when it has a new release, like one of the first instructions is, oh, is this the latest version? Update me, and then so it can refresh itself as well.
Absolutely. One other thing, one other skill MCP server I really like is the developer knowledge.
Oh yes.
One? Anyone familiar with the developer knowledge? It's the, let me see, Google developer knowledge, MCP server. So it's from cloud, but it provides access to documentation of Firebase, Google Cloud, Android, Maps, and more to search in the docs, right? Because nothing is more frustrating than the model taking decisions based on outdated training data. Like, oh, I didn't know how to call that new model that just launched, like because it wasn't part of my training data. So with the developer knowledge MCP server, you give it access. You want to see it in action?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I think, yeah, while you set up like there's usually this thing about, oh, should I use a skill or an MCP? Like there's a very heated discussion. So I think in this case, like if you just serving documentation, maybe MCP I think is the best place, because otherwise, if your skill is just repeating the documentation, maybe you can just have an MCP that retrieves everything for you. It will be a bit easier to keep everyone up to date. But in the skill set itself, you can get like a specialized knowledge that goes beyond the documentation with more examples and supporting scripts and things like that.
Yeah, so I asked it like, hey, use the developer knowledge server and write a Python script that generates a cute kitten. Yeah, cats lovers here?
Yeah.
Me, I am.
Like who wants to see cat pictures?
Nano banana 2, right? And remember to use Vertex AI auth and the global endpoint. So it started using the MCP server, doing queries, reading the output. Let me see what's in the output. Oh, it wants to know my project. That's fine. UV version. Should I do the skip ahead?
Yeah, let's see the future.
Oh.
Oh, come on. We're the only cat people here.
Apparently. Yeah.
Okay,
so the whole idea is you can make the model smarter by plugging it into the developer knowledge MCP, into modern web guidance and other skills.
Yeah, this used to also to be one of my pet peeves, because in the early days of Gemini 3, like you'd say, oh, write an agent with Gemini 3, and they would say, yeah, the user thinks she's in the future, so I'm going to revert to Gemini 1.5. So why is this happening? Because of the training data, right? So with this kind of thing, with the skills and MCPs, you can supplement the training data and have, because what we care about the large language model is the reasoning. It's not really the data it has is frozen in time, and by here, like we can update it really quickly.
Yeah. Oh, and it didn't get it right the first time, but it launched it and then saw the errors and debugged it by reading the docs. So I like that I don't have to read the docs anymore.
Yeah. Who likes to read the docs?
I like that you said pet peeve. That was funny.
Yeah.
Pet peeve.
Pets.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we go to the last demo?
Yeah, let's do it. Can we switch back to?
Yeah. Can I have the screen, please? So this one is a bit tricky, and it's one that I'm still struggling to wrap my hand. It's a new way of prompting, but to do this, I'm stealing a prompt that our manager created, Richard. And I'm just going to show this prompt here really quickly. And the idea is we have this now, the next cool kid is the concept of the sub-agents, right? So instead of having everything is the same session, the same agent doing all the work, you can spin up other agents to do the work in parallel or in a certain sequence. So here, I just literally replaced one word because this used to be Seroter Hotels, Richard Seroter. So let's build a hotel room booking app for Petruzalek Hotels, which is me. Also, I have ego issues. consisting of a Go backend API and a web frontend. So first, launch the engineering manager, that's an agent, to design the API and frontend. Then you will spin up other agents like a test manager, a backend engineer, and a frontend engineer. This is slightly, it will take a while to warm up, so I'm just going to launch the prompt here and let's see. So the important bit is that the prompt instruct, create the agent. The agent doesn't exist yet. So anti-gravity has this capability of dynamically spawning clones, and it will give like a specialized prompts to do. And a couple benefits. One, parallelization, if you need to do things in parallel. Second one, clean context. So you don't cross-contaminate. Like one of the things I've been struggling a lot recently is like if I need to do front-end and back-end together, either the agent does the front-end very well and the back-end is like mocked, or the other way around. So this way you can have a separation of concerns. And I'm just authorizing, but let's have a look at the plan. You see, it even comes with a orchestration flow. The parent agent launched the manager designed the architecture, then it launched the parallel sub-agents, there are a few decision points. So it's very similar to the plan of the timer, or the clock we had, but now we have this additional section of the orchestration. And you can hear, let's see, it's still working. Oh, come on. Gravity, go.
No cooking show.
Yeah, no cooking channel. Like I like to do things wildly. I'm actually going to just cancel and do go. And one of the tricks I use, actually this is a good one. You can see here in the bottom, we have the model picker. I have the tendency nowadays to use 3.5 flash low. If you see this high, low, medium, is the thinking level of the model. And most people have noticed that the output of thinking low in 3.5 flash is quite good. So, and here's, in theory, is the trade-off between tokens and time-consuming preparing the task versus giving the response right away. So, yeah, for 3.5 low, I think it's a good one for most tasks. If you want to do something very heavy, then probably either 3.5 flash high or pro, 3.1 pro high. And here, now it's finally started working. You can see I have the same artifacts, the task, the plan. But if I look at here in the overview, I have a new tab that's sub-agents, and I can inspect what the agent, the manager is doing.
Needs attention.
Needs attention. They all do. You know, when you have kids, all the kids want your attention. So I have cats. My cats also want attention.
Better analogy. Better analogy.
OK. So, and one interesting thing you see in the bottom is, I know it's a bit weird to see in the screen, but you cannot send a message to the sub-agent. Only the coordinator can send this message.
Cats.
So, yeah.
You cannot talk to the cat.
You cannot literally command cats. But you see, it has its own artifact. So in this case, it has the architecture MD here. This is the architecture it designed. It already did a few iterations, because that's why you have a diff. But if I want to go back, and this is something sometimes I struggle with this interface. If you, oh my God, I don't think they can see. So let's just minimize this. You see, you have this breadcrumb here in the top bar. This is how you go back to the original context. So you have the hotel room. This is actually an empty conversation in this project. This is the coordinator. And here I have all my sub-agents. So you can use this breadcrumb here to navigate between different agent contexts if you want to go back and forth. Here you'll see 2 of them are already asking for my attention here. So yeah, you need to herd some agents, not herding cats. And let's see the other agent. It's better if you have the panel here side. I'm just going to approve everything.
But can we take a step back? Like, do you think this is a good example of sub-agents? Like, I don't really know when to use sub-agents.
Yeah, I would say, for me, I'm not so sure it's still about this format. Like, I really like it. I think it's a cool demo. But the idea of you planning the manager and then distributing the work is a bit hard for me to wrap my brain around it. Like, it's a new way of thinking about these prompts.
Yeah, and also, how do they communicate? Like, the front-end agent builds something, and then the back-end agent decided to design the API in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like,
the way I've been approaching this when I'm trying to experiment this not on stage is I always have a main instruction that say create a contract, and then you distribute the contract between front end and back end. For anything that's not front end and back end, I haven't done. Honestly, I haven't used anything. Like, I'm not sure if you can really parallelize test, for example. Can you parallelize just the tester? I think it's the next step, and maybe they can communicate back and have like a feedback loop.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't like. I think like maybe if you have a very big refactoring and you want to like divide the work over all the packages to get it done faster.
Yeah,
like that.
and I think maybe there's like a whole field of study here to think about those patterns, like I don't know, anti-corruption layer, and then you build an anti-corruption layer with one agent, and then the others connect. You know, people who came from the enterprise development know those terms better than me. I spent a few years of my career, but not anymore. But yeah, let's go back to the slides and do the conclusions. So, you saw, I think, earlier before us, who were in this stage, we were talking about building agents. And this talk is more about using agents to build things. So those are the main skills we're developing now in this stage of life, I guess. Yeah, and here are a few code labs you can do yourself to practice those skills. Also, just a small ad about the builders.google program. This is a program if you can sign in, it's free, and you get some free labs credits that you can do every month. So there, if you didn't like those two, you can search and find many more. You can play, you have 35 credits to do labs every month.
35 credits to do labs every day, and then some days too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so yeah. Anything you want to highlight?
I think that's it. We have no time for questions, I'm sorry. But we will be here. You can find us after the talk.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.